You enter the world as a tiny, soft, white blob, a millimeter or less in length, tucked inside an oval egg hidden in a wet crack. No luxury womb, no snug nest, just a dirty corner of a basement or the bottom of a kitchen sink. Hello there. You're a silverfish, and things are going to be extremely, extremely inconvenient. You've got roughly 60 relatives packed in with you, all of whom were laid by a mom who didn't even linger long enough to say hello. Your first day? It's not a warm welcome. It's good luck. Hope you last an hour. The clock begins ticking anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on how warm and damp your tiny hiding spot is. And then you emerge. You wriggle out, soft and helpless, already looking like a tiny version of what you'll grow into. Except you're missing the shiny scales that will make you look cool later. You're more like a pale, wobbly noodle with legs staggering around in the dark. Your tiny heart, if you can even call it that, is racing, because absolutely everything is out to eat you. Spiders? Oh yes. Centipedes? Absolutely. Even your own kind might eat you for dinner if they're hungry enough. From the moment you're born, it's survival mode on the hardest difficulty, and you have no gear, no armor, just 6 shaky legs, and the desperate hope that you won't be lunch. Moving around is a joke. You've got these long antennae that are supposed to help you feel your way through the pitch-black world, but they're more like floppy straws waving in the wind. You try to scurry, but it's less graceful sprint and more drunken stumble. Your body wiggles like a fish, hence the name. But you're not swimming through water, you're dodging crumbs and dust bunnies on a bathroom floor. And the humidity? It's your lifeline. Too dry and you shrivel up like a sad raisin. Too wet and you're just a sitting duck for mold or worse. You spend your whole life hunting for a place that's not too dry, not too wet, just right. Food? Ah, that's a whole different tale. You're born starved for starchy and protein foods, like glue, paper, crumbs, or anything dead or starchy that you can manage to get your hands on. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. Your mouth is small, your chewing power is little, and you don't have any hands to pick anything up. You spot a delicious mouthful of oatmeal on the floor, but by the time you squiggle over, some ant has already had a go at it. You attempt to chew on the glue in a book, your perfect meal, but it's like chewing on a brick with baby teeth. Most of the time you're just surviving on whatever random things come your way. And if there's no food, no problem. You can go a whole year without eating before you get seriously ill. That sounds impressive, but really it just means you'll be starving and miserable for months. Somehow you make it through the first weeks and you're still alive, largely because of luck. You start to molt, discarding your soft skin like an old uniform. First molt, second molt, third molt, bam. Around 40 days in, you finally develop those nifty, shiny, silver-gray scales that give you the appearance of a wee fish. You're still tiny, barely 1/8 of an inch long, but at least now you don't look like a weird, naked noodle. You test your new legs, and yep, you're really pretty fast now. You dart across the floor like a little speedster, until you smack into a wall. Can you climb it? Not a chance. Smooth surfaces are dangerous for you. You're stuck running around the floor like a kid too short to reach the cookie jar. Weeks become months, and you are growing... sort of. You're still peeling skin like it's part of your daily routine, losing it every few days because you are too cool to ever stop growing. Most insects become adults and grow no more, but you don't. You will lose skin 17 to 66 times in your life, sometimes 30 times in a year, just because nature figured you had more work to do. You become an adult in 3 months to 3 years, depending on how welcoming the temperature and humidity are. The perfect setup, over 70 DF and superhuman. But if you hatch in a cold, dry basement, you're in for painfully slow growth, like a student who keeps failing gym class and has to retake it over and over. Now that you're an adult silverfish, 1/2 inch to 1 inch long with shiny scales, long antennae, and 3 weird tail bristles, you'd think things would improve. They don't. One evening, when you're out daylight, no thanks, you only come out at night, you're scrounging around for something to eat when you spot it. A delicious mouthful of wallpaper paste. You creep over, focus on your next meal, and start nibbling. 10 seconds later, you're stuck. Your shiny scales, they flake off and glue you to the surface. You thrash around, but now you're a shiny snack waiting for a spider to show up. Your depth perception isn't great. You keep bumping into things because those long feelers don't actually help much. And then there's the floating problem. Well, not really floating, but you worry about wet spots. You step into a bathtub, feel the damp surface, and suddenly remember, oh no, it's too slippery to climb out. You're stuck, sliding back and forth like a bug on ice, until someone flushes you down the drain or stomps on you with a shoe. And if you survive that, you have a new nightmare. Humans. You're munching on their books or chewing tiny holes in their shirts, and before you know it, they declare war. They're spraying poison, setting traps, vacuuming your eggs. Your whole family is in danger because you had the nerve to eat their wallpaper. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and somehow you are still around. You have escaped spiders, gone hungry for days, and dodged a few brooms. You are a pro at hiding in cracks, under rugs, and behind furniture, basically any dark, damp hiding spot. But just when you think you have it all down, nature whips a big curveball at you. Mating. Oh boy. At first, it doesn't seem so bad. Until you realize it involves an awkward 30-minute dance. You and a lady silverfish begin with a quick antenna tap. Kinda cute, right? You step back, flick your tail like you're in a dance-off, and do it again. Then you leave a tiny silk sperm packet on the floor. No direct contact involved. And if she likes you, she takes it. If not, tough luck. Let's say she does accept it. She produces 1 to 3 eggs per day, maybe 100 in her lifetime, hiding them in cracks like tiny time bombs. You're a father now. Well, sort of. You don't actually stick around. You take off, leaving her behind like a bad date. Your kids hatch and start the same tough life you did. You're once again on your own, meanwhile eating glue and staying safe. You're hardy, though. Silverfish last 2 to 8 years if you're lucky. That's a long time to be an annoying little bug. One evening, you're lounging in your go-to soggy area, snacking on a deceased moth, 5-star cuisine for you, when you sense it. An itch. Not just an itch, this one moves. Yay, you've got parasites. Little mites or fungi hook onto your scales, and there's nothing you can do about it. No scratching, no rubbing them off. You're a buffet on legs. They're not lethal, typically, but they're a real pain, like roommates who never pay rent. And the bigger you get, the more space they have to spread. Years pass, and now you are an old veteran, perhaps 6 years old, a silverfish grandpa. You're big for your kind, nearly an inch long, and your scales shine like a tiny disco ball. Humans still hate you, though. You're chewing on a rare book in a library when you hear footsteps. Your mind is slow, your legs even slower. A shadow looms, a rolled-up magazine comes crashing down, and splat. Your final thought? Maybe that glue wasn't worth it. The library has a funny story. You get a one-way ticket to bug heaven. Or maybe you dodge the magazine and scurry off. Now you're in a damp basement, ruling over the cracks, nibbling on cardboard crumbs like it's a fancy meal. You've outsmarted spiders, tuned out hunger, and avoided every spray can blast aimed at you. Sure, you're still the odd one without wings, still shedding skin over and over like it's a never-ending job, and you'll never fly through the air like a shiny dragonfly. But the thing is, you're a survivor with 400 million years of silverfish grit crammed into your small, shiny body. You're not exactly living the dream, but at least you're not a sunfish floating around while parasites throw a party in your flesh. Small victories, right? So what do you think? Would you trade places with this shiny little oddball? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this strange trip through silverfish life, give that like button a click and subscribe for more strange creature adventures.